The Crusader castles of Jordan. Their ruins serve as a reminder of the bloody battles that once took place between the Christians and Muslims, and that shook the Near East at a time in history known as the Crusades. Around 4 kilometres from the small town of Ajlun is Jordan's sole surviving castle, Qalaat Ar-Rabad. The fortress was designed to protect the pilgrims who were on their way to Mecca, but it was also a symbol of military power aimed well and truly at the Crusaders. Ajlun Castle was built in 1184 during the rule of Emir Izz-ed-Din Usama, a close relative of Saladin. But the military importance of the fortress did not last for long, as only 3 years after its completion, the Crusades came to an end. In subsequent times, the fortress was of no real defence, as it was easy to penetrate. So in 1260, it fell into the hands of the invading Mongols. The damage to the complex that is visible today was not caused by battle, but by a devastating earthquake in 1837. However, the fortress is still one of the most beautiful examples of Islamic military architecture. The barren surroundings of the Crusader castle of Shoubak contain a number of fascinating settlements. Today, it's difficult to imagine that this region was once relatively fertile. The proud ruins of the legendary Crusader fortress of Shoubak can be seen from quite a distance as they rise high above the flat terrain. The view from the fortress extends far across the once fertile plains that provided the local population with a good living. The man who created Shoubak, a Christian king of Jerusalem, Balduin I, chose a fine location for his fortress. Today, nothing remains of the gardens that were once known for their delicious fruit. The year 1115 marked not only the victory of the Crusaders at the Battle of Tell Danit, but also the beginning of Shoubak's construction. Under the name Montreal, the King's Fortress that was created by Balduin I was an important component in the defense of the Crusader army. Due to the fortress and because of its strategic location, the Christians were able to control two important east-west routes. After several unsuccessful attempts, the Islamic army finally managed to conquer the king's fortress under the leadership of Sultan Saladin. After a siege that lasted 18 months, Shoubak fell in 1189 to Ayyubiden. Shortly afterwards, it was enlarged by the Marmeluccs, and in the 19th century, the Ottomans moved into the Crusaders' fortress. The most famous of the Crusader castles is situated in the city of Kerak, around 20 kilometres southeast of the southernmost extremity of the Dead Sea. The French administrator of Outre-Jourdain, formerly East Jordan, was the builder as well as the owner of this mighty fortress. The fortress had great strategic importance, as those who controlled Al-Kerak also controlled large areas of Palestine and an area that extended to the southern section of the Dead Sea. A further advantage of the fortress was that the Crusaders could also attack the trading route known as the King's Road. The first siege of Al-Kerak via the Zengiden Nureddin put an end to the Christian raids. The fortress withstood various sieges, including those of the Ayyubids, who were under the command of Saladin. The first siege of the fortress by Saladin's troops was particularly dramatic, as within the fortress a large wedding ceremony was taking place. One month later, in December 1183, French troops from Jerusalem came to assist, and the Ayyubidean army was forced to retreat. Five years later, following the final defeat of the Christians close to Hattin, the Crusades came to an end. The conquest of Al-Kerak marked the conclusion of a relatively short but bloody epoch. Almost 100 years after the conquest of the fortress, the last French outposts in the Near East were also abandoned. Now it is only the mighty and impressive ruins of the Crusaders that have survived. An atmospheric reminder of a glorious and colourful past.